What's good, y'all? I've got some really nice buffs for Dugtrio, both Alolan and Cantonian. All of them now share the ability Hustle, which is massively buffed in this ROM hack, in the fact that a lot of new moves will not miss with Hustle, and a lot of new moves also give you an accuracy boost, and Wide Lens boosts accuracy by 15%. So even without any of these special moves, which honestly there's a lot of them, you have totally good moves here, but even without any of these moves, you can just slap on a Wide Lens and use regular ass moves and have a only 8% chance to miss in exchange for having a massive 50% attack boost, which is literally same attack boost as something like a choice band would give. So 105 base attack might not seem too great for this hack standard, especially if you're a new viewer. If you're a returning viewer. If you're a new viewer though, do make sure you check out that description down below. There is a link to this very same Google Sheet I'm sharing on screen right now. I have 20 plus custom new abilities, as you can see on screen right now here, and I have a very detailed move guide where I have buffed and changed 600 plus moves. So do give those a look. But with that being said, back to the abilities. So for Hustle, I gotta go scroll back down now. To is to control F. I know where it is anyways. Yeah, Hustle. So tons of new moves. The most important one for Dugtrio being Stomping Tantrum. With 105 base attack, by the way, I forgot to cover. 105 base attack and Hustle, they are hitting 329 times 1.5, 508, which is like, yeah, like 182 base attack, roughly. So they're really freaking strong, and they're very quick, 120 and 110 base speed. Of course, Alolan, has the benefit of having dual stab, while Cantonian, I keep mixing them up, while Cantonian has the benefit of being faster and having a different ability. So, you're not always going to need that Hustle power boost. 105 base attack will get the job done in a lot of boss fights if you're only, needing to kill a specific Pokemon. Not to mention, they do have decent utility in moves like Parting Shot and Toxic Spikes and other widely distributed moves in this hack via TM. So, you're not always going to need Hustle is my point. Although I would say more so on a low end Dugtrio, the secondary ability is better. Mold Breaker is very situational, but it's actually a very uncommon ability in this hack because it's such a situational ability. I don't tend to give it to Pokemon because I do try to balance every single Pokemon to have two good abilities. And there are actually a lot of good abilities now, especially all the new Levitate Pokemon. That means that Mold Breaker, especially on a ground type, is great. Ignoring Levitate, ignoring Sturdy, ignoring Energy Shield. I don't remember if Actually, I think that Energy Shield can't be bypassed by Mold Breaker because it comes from Shadow Shield, but I just gotta text. Hopefully it's not important. Okay, it's nothing. So yeah, Dugtrio, Mold Breaker, and Serene Grace. Serene Grace might seem kind of funny and stupid on a lone Dugtrio, and it is. It's funny and stupid, but this is a funny and stupid Pokemon. It's literally its entire design is existing as a joke. I know it has the lore of like the Hawaiian volcanoes and the whatever with the hair being like magnetic filaments. I don't give a shit. It's a stupid joke, man. All right, look at it. I don't care about the lore behind this thing. It's a stupid fucking joke, man. I tend to dislike joke mons, but yeah. Also, if you read the Pokedex, it does talk about how Dugtrio is extremely powerful, which is the main reason I give it Hustle. Not to mention they also are like, in all senses of the word, Hustle fits. Hustle's like a very fitting ability for Dugtrio, in my opinion. It's not always the most fitting choice for some of these Pokemon that I give it to. I kind of just interpret it as they're so strong that they like are hitting so hard that they just miss because of how like strong they are, which is kind of the logic of the ability anyways. Not to mention in Japanese its name is Enthusiasm. However, I prefer the English name Hustle. Enthusiasm and Hustle both fit base Dugtrio and a low end Dugtrio very well. So yeah, very strong ability for them. Very strong, fast Pokemon with Hustle and all these new moves. So Stomping Tantrum is the best one that you have that won't miss, and then you have a bunch of other stuff. A low end Dugtrio has the benefit of having Smart Strike as well. Also, the part Steel typing gives it a lot more switching opportunities because it has more resistances and more immunities and stuff, so they can switch in on a lot of attacks easier. They actually can live attacks now in general, or both of them can actually live hits. I would say probably still only resisted attacks on especially base Dugtrio's case, unless you're running, a certain specific item or you Parting Shot it into the Dugtrio, which is very common. Parting Shot is an extremely common move in this hack, so you can get your frailer Pokemon on the field a little bit easier that way. But in general, they still are relatively frail. For this hack, standard 65, 70, 70 with no investment is not the best bulk. A lone Dugtrio, though, with that attack or defense and the resistance to common priority like First Impression, it's pretty damn good. That minus 10 speed is a pretty big evening factor between them. Not to mention Mold Breaker is a very useful ability in this hack. So what you can do is you can look at the trainer sheets and switch to Mold Breaker when you see that it's useful. Otherwise, you're using Hustle. And as for Serene Grace on a lone Dugtrio, you can flinch hacks things with Rock Slide and Iron Head. It's pretty fun. You also have a couple other things. Zen Headbutt also has a chance. I believe it would have a 50% chance to flinch overall with with Swing Grace, and then it's also 100 base power, 95% accurate, Rock Slide, 95% accurate, 95 base power. You know, all these moves are buffed or changed. I'm not kidding. So definitely just give those a look in the description. I'm not going to cover them all here, unless they're important ones. So like the Stomping Tantrum not missing and stuff, I can obviously cover that. Skull Bash is also super good with Hustle. Skull Bash will never miss. Is 130 base power overall, 135, excuse me. It's 90 base power, but it always crits, right? So it's 135 base power overall with the crit. It gives you +1 defense still, and it now gives you +1 attack and accuracy as well. So what you could do is use Power Herb Skull Bash and then click regular moves like Earthquake and all these other stuff, all those other moves. Stomping Tantrum though, especially because the Earthquake TM isn't until pretty late into the game, you won't be getting that until Aether Foundation. You know, once you beat Danu. A lot of Pokemon get moves like Seismic Fist and other ground TMs and tutor moves, but in Dugtrio's case, he doesn't have fists, so he has to rely on Stomping Tantrum, which is not a big deal because first of all, it's not that weak anyways. It's 75 base power, but like I said earlier, I will never miss with Hustle. So what you can do is you can just spam Stomping Tantrum and not have to worry about that accuracy at all, and you're getting that big boost from it. You can also use Buff Wildlands, like I said earlier. You can use Sucker Punch, which won't miss with Hustle. You can use First Impression, which won't miss with Hustle. You can use U-Turn, which won't miss with Hustle. You know, it's just got beautiful, beautiful options overall. It's just a strong, fast, frail offensive Pokemon with Alolan Dugtrio having that annoying flinch hack stuff, being slightly slower but having a better defensive typing and also a better offensive typing objectively because it's dual typing, so it just gets the extra stab. However, its speed stat does even them out, and also Mold Breaker has its own uses. So they're both really good. Just solid, strong Pokemon, solid buffs for both of them. I don't really know what else to say. I guess I could say Smart Strike is another big deal on Alolan Dugtrio. Smart Strike is also 75 base power and will never miss, so it's similar to Stomping Tantrum in that regard. And that's already good enough. But Smart Strike also now gives you an accuracy boost. So what you can do is on any Smart Strike Hustle Pokemon, of which there are many, you can click Smart Strike, get a +1 accuracy boost, and then go to town and use your other moves and not have to worry about missing. Not that there's a lot of moves that don't miss. Not that you're not missing moves are bad, because we have tons of those. Again, like I said, all priority moves won't miss anymore, so those are really good, as well as other good things. There's all types of really fun things you can do. So yeah. I think I'm gonna leave the video up there though. It's pretty simple and straightforward for Dugtrio. I don't want to dwell on it too much. I kind of don't give a shit about him. The HP increase is just because I try to base HP more on size, and Dugtrio's not. It's like a pretty average sized Pokemon. It's pretty small, but 65 is pretty standard for like smaller Pokemon like this. You know, in the mid 60s range, so that's a little more fitting. Defense being pretty decent also fits them. His Spadef was already 70, so I just kept it. But ideally, I would actually probably give more defense and less special defense, but like this is fine. It works good enough. Yeah, that's really about it. Ground Steel is also a pretty unique typing, though, you know, there's a couple others, but Alolan Dugtrio is the fastest, with Drill and then Steelix being the other two, I believe. So it's a good dual typing. You know, good defensively, good offensively, and then Pure Ground is also fine and solid, and they just have really good options. Good coverage. Zora's Dance, which is 1 PP only, but you know, it's still pretty good. Reversal will never miss with Hustle either, so you can use like Focus Sash Reversal stuff, or Endure like Select Berry, or Endure Lychee Berry Reversal sets with Hustle. You know, it's not stab, but it's still a 200 base power move that never misses. That gets a 50% boost from Hustle, so not like that's bad. Other good coverage moves like Play a Rough and all those other fun things that you can abuse. Other Swing Grace stuff I can say, besides the flinch hacks and stuff, is pretty limited, but you could, if you really, really needed to burn something, and you're playing team locked, so you can't just go add a mon that learns Will-O-Wisp, a more reliable burn option, you could, in theory, use Scorching Sands on Alolan Dugtrio with Swing Grace for a 60% chance to burn, but it's very suboptimal, especially because you're relatively frail, so it's not the best thing. But for very niche circumstances, you could teach that as a TM. Same goes for any of these TMs. A lot of them are relatively niche, but they're very good because they're TMs. For example, like T-Spikes, you're not going to use that every fight, but it's still good for certain fights. Logically, that might seem weird, but I'm very generous with T-Spikes. I just kind of see it as like, if they make sense to learn something like Poison Jab, and they're like either I see them as like setting hazards or traps, or they just are like spiky or something, I just give it because I don't know, it's a cool move, and I like poison types a lot, and I don't know, I just think it's a cool move. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a couple other things I could touch on, but I'll leave it off there. Lastly, I will say that Play Rough with Swing Grace will always drop attack. I know that as well, so that's a good Swing Grace option for Alolan Dugtrio as well. And then mostly it's just flinches and defense drops and stuff like that. Nothing too crazy. Flinches being very good though, because you're very quick, you know. So, yeah. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Let me know if you listened this far into the video. Big shout outs to you if you did. Yep. Make sure you check out the description and subscribe to the channel and all that fun stuff. Peace, y'all.